In great form in Division 3 against Sheffield Wednesday, who'd lost only 1 of 14. Something had to give. We gave the match to John Champion.
If Carlisle's enigmatic chairman Michael Knighton had his way, every match day at Brunton Park would be just like this. All 16,000 tickets went as soon as they were put on sale. The club could have sold at least twice as many. And in the great border city, the locals are absolutely convinced that the great cup upset is a distinct possibility. Much of that faith stems from the unlikely presence of defender Stefan Puniwachi, a regular in the French First Division who arrived on a free transfer under the Bosman ruling. He's one of 3 centre-backs. Number 8, Paul Conway, is the son of Jimmy Conway, who played for Fulham in the cup final. The team is more sophisticated in style than third division status might suggest, and Carlisle are unbeaten in 14 matches. Sheffield Wednesday have dispensed with their foreign imports for this very English occasion. Newsom and Collins make welcome returns after injury. They can be excused a few nerves. They've been knocked out by lower division opposition in 4 of the last 6 seasons. Eddie Wolstenholme from Blackburn gets us underway. Carlisle in the blue tops are playing from left to right. It's the archetypal cup atmosphere. Record receipts have been paid by this crowd of more than 16,000. 62 places separate these 2 sides on the league ladder. And Carlisle reckon they have every chance of causing an upset. This is Lee Peacock. Thought of passing to Archdeacon. Crosses a little too far, it comes to Edmondson. And Atherson can get it away. Shaky start by Wednesday. This is Whittingham. Dangerous to allow him to run. And a free kick goes Wednesday's way. Carlisle have plenty of young talent in their lineup today. No surprise that some of football's biggest names are in attendance. Newsom. Puniwachi is the Carlisle defender. And it's a Wednesday throw. Mervyn Day, a cup winner in 1975. Flicked off Newsom. Hyde. Oh, and it could fall to Andy Booth. Still Booth. Humphreys. And Craig managed just to get his fist to the ball in the nick of time. Tony Craig has been unsettled in the last couple of days by tabloid stories linking him with a possible move to Sunderland. But when he was put under pressure, he responded admirably. Some of the defending in front of him wasn't the best, but when he was really called upon, he wasn't found wanting. Peacock. Alan Smart was having his shirt tugged by Newsom. Alan Smart, who arrived recently in a swap deal from Preston North End. Here's Edmondson. And now Smart, can he reach the ball before it goes out? He can. On again, and a clear chance. Oh, Peacock missed his kick. Lee Peacock had a clear chance. Now will Carlisle live to regret that? Was it the bounce of the ball that defeated him? Smart did ever so well just to get a cross in. It was Conway that flicked it on. And Peacock just took his eye off the ball. It could have been 1-0 to Carlisle. Puniwachi. Now Whittingham. Booth. Nick is for Humphreys. And on to Pembridge. And Wednesday have 3 men inside the penalty area. There's the header from Whittingham. And that's 1-0 to Wednesday. That'll ease the nerves of the Premiership side just a touch. But it was something of a sucker punch after Carlisle had started so brightly. They didn't shut the back door properly, and the ideal cross was met with a firm header. Great credit to Pembridge, and Whittingham with his 5th goal of the season. What does Mervyn Day do now? Aspinall. Edmondson. Archdeacon, Hayward! It took a deflection. And it's a corner to Carlisle. Archdeacon. Towards Walling. It's all a tangle in there. Peacock, Archdeacon. Another corner. This time off Ian Nolan. Wednesday forced to defend in some depth. A feat they must now repeat. Archdeacon once more. Newsome, Hayward! Hayward again! Well, Hayward's shot seemed to take some form of deflection on its way past the post. But off who? I think off one of his own players. The Wednesday band can be heard in Scotland today. Hyde. Now Whittingham. Humphreys. Two good tackles, both by Barty. This is Conway through the legs of Nolan. Only Alan Smart is up. Hayward. Lee Peacock in pursuit, and was that handball by Whittingham? It was on the blind side of referee Wolstenholme, and his assistant was on the far side of the pitch as well, and would have been unsighted. We may get a better view. Whittingham is the player in orange, and there was a suspicion of an arm. Peacock. Des Walker, there was no way past him in the first half. Edmondson. Hyde. Aspinall. Pembridge. Nolan on the overlap. Two inside the penalty area. Free header. Andy Booth. 2-0. Understand the delight on the terraces from the travelling supporters, because that creates a comfort zone for the Premiership team. Pembridge created the first goal with a cross from the left. His intelligent pass to Nolan has set up the second, but where was the marking for Andy Booth? Rarely will the Wednesday striker score a more straightforward goal. Janssen will lend some weight to the attack, and Smart has got the better of Des Walker. Here's Smart! Just about the first clear sight he's had of goal all afternoon. And it was surprising that it was Des Walker who, for the first time as well, put a foot wrong. David Pleat can't be too unhappy with what he's seeing. Collins. This is Humphreys. And Booth, oh, off the inside of the post. Andy Booth was unfortunate because he tried to place his shot rather than blast it wide of the keeper, and the idea was to put it inside the post. He was about 3 inches out. Just a case now of whether Carlisle can find some sort of consolation. Thomas. And there is no more time left for them so to do. And Andy Booth's second half goal really killed the contest. After Guy Whittingham with a first half close range header had eased the early nerves, Wednesday went on to produce a composed performance, never in too much trouble. Carlisle were tidy but lacked threat in the areas that mattered. And it's Sheffield Wednesday who advanced to the last 16 of the FA Cup. after a job well done, for which David Pleat must take much credit. As ever, Wednesday were well prepared.
We were vulnerable here today. You can always be victim of a killing, but they're a good footballing team. They've got a super record in recent months, and they've got a lovely pitch, nice wide pitch, and I think if they continue to play like that, they've got a few younger players, they're going along the right lines. They're quite good.
But you're a happy man tonight, obviously.
Well, we're pleased. We're in the 5th round, and you know, you've been the victim of great cup wins in the past and bad cup upsets, and I have to say it's one day where you do feel that stupid word pressure.
I hope everybody has seen what we're trying to do here. We're not a hoof, lump and hope side. You know, we try to play the game the right way. Sometimes, obviously, you come unstuck if you're playing against a quality side like Wednesday. But I don't think I've got the players that could hoof, hump and lump it. And that's the basic, you know, problem. We are a side that likes to play. Unfortunately, I thought our final ball, our final pass, was far below probably what Wednesday's was, and if you look at it seriously, that's probably the big difference between where we are and in the Premier League.
Right, there are 6 other 4th round ties to catch up on now, starting with Everton against Bradford.
Former England international Chris Waddle gave Everton's expensively assembled struggles a football lesson this afternoon. Having hit the bar in the first half, he helped set up John Drea's well-struck volley. 2 minutes later, it was Waddle who took advantage of an extraordinary piece of football by Everton's Andrei Kanchelskis, but no one envisaged this from the 36-year-old. Even the normally reserved Waddle couldn't contain his emotions. But from this angle, there's no doubting Waddle's intentions. Everton were given a lifeline on 54 minutes when the luckless Andrew O'Brien struck the ball past his own keeper to put Everton back in the game. Bradford remained calm throughout, while Chris Waddle conjured more magic, this time with this through ball for Rob Steiner, the player eventually beating Southall with his clinical finish on 59 minutes. Everton struggled to get back on level terms, but scored a second in injury time. Gary Speed, the scorer. But the day belonged to Waddle.
I knew Neville was out because he came out for the back pass a bit and got my foot round it. And I caught it sweet. And once it left my foot, I thought this was going to be very, very close. And the next thing I do, I saw it hitting the net. But I don't like scoring at the minute because we've got this thing in the club, whoever scores, you have to get beat up in the celebration. So I took a few blows to the head and a few kicks in the back. So I wasn't too pleased about that bit.
Joe, how much does it hurt to go out of the FA Cup like that?
You can't really describe it. I think it's best measured in sleepless nights, and certainly be one tonight.
Derby started without 6 of their first-team regulars and quickly lost another 2. But despite the injuries, a goal from Robin van der Laan, and celebrations straight out of John Cleese's Ministry for Silly Walks. 4 minutes later, Asanovic performed his party piece, all done with the aid of an invisible elastic band, Dean Sturridge providing the finishing touch. The same 2 players linked up well to create Derby's third. Paul Trollope eventually got the ball, and his chip fell neatly onto the feet of Ron Willems. Aston Villa haven't reached the FA Cup final for 40 years now, and Sasha Churchich scored his first goal for the club. It will have come as scant consolation for manager Brian Little.
I would have assumed that Brian wouldn't be too happy. I would have thought that, you know, they had an off day. I think it's fair for me to say that we made them have an off day.
Birmingham progressed to the 5th round for the first time since 1988. Paul Furlong grabbing his 9th goal of the season in the 24th minute, killing off any hope of Stockport maintaining their cup run. 3 minutes into the second half, Birmingham's leading scorer Paul Devlin scored what Bobby Robson calls a Johnny-on-the-spot goal. Well, they all count. Birmingham's third came on 69 minutes. The cross by Furlong, the finish by Kevin Francis. Stockport provided a spirited end to the game with Brett Angel reducing the arrears in the 82nd minute, but it was too little, too late.
Once a hero in East Anglia, the Leicester boss Martin O'Neill is rapidly becoming something of a pest. Having disposed of Ipswich in midweek, similar treatment today for his old club Norwich. Ian Marshall put Leicester in front. Both teams were reduced to 10 men when Matt Jackson and Neil Lennon were sent off. There was more controversy when Adrian Forbes was brought down by Gary Parker. It looked to most of the fans as though the tackle was made outside the penalty area. But the referee saw it differently, and Neil Adams equalised from the spot. If Leicester felt hard done by for that, justice came in the form of another penalty. Emile Heskey was pulled down by Rob Newman, Gary Parker took full advantage, and Leicester remain in both of the cups.
Two former Chelsea players and a spectacular goal ensured QPR a place in tomorrow's fifth-round draw. However, it was Barnsley who took the lead on 13 minutes. Neil Redfern's 30-yard free kick embarrassing Tony Roberts. The home side drew level 8 minutes later when Gavin Peacock fired home the superb 20-yard equaliser. QPR's second came from a McDonald-Dicchio combination, John Spencer eventually helping himself to his 9th goal in 10 games since his move from Chelsea. QPR were looking comfortable in the second half when Andrew Impey decided to take the law into his own hands, the winger flooring Nicky Eden, his opposite number. The outcome was inevitable. The player eventually escorted from the pitch. Rangers battled on, getting their reward on the 76th minute. Trevor Sinclair scoring what must be a candidate for goal of the season. The technique known as the bicycle kick cannot be better illustrated. 4 minutes from time, John Hendry stuck a 20-yard shot that gave Barnsley hope but little else, the away side continuing their dismal record at Loftus Road.
There's something about the FA Cup that Portsmouth seem to enjoy. The key to their victory today was their Swedish substitute Mattias Svensson, who set up the opening goal for Paul Hall and also played a part in the second. It was his through ball which fell to the former soldier Lee Bradbury to rifle in his 10th of the season. Fitzroy Simpson provided the cross for the final goal. The Reading keeper Sal Bibbo couldn't hold it, and David Hillier scored his first since joining Pompey from Arsenal.
Well, Tony Gubba gave us goal of the century last week, so where do these two leave us, chaps, do you think, would you
Well,
imagine?
I think Waddle's goal was the best goal ever. Certainly AD, it's the best goal. Maybe there's one or two before Christ that were better than this, but this is just fantastic. I mean, you've got to have the vision and awareness, and also the hit is just out of this world. You see South off his line. There's not many players in the country could do this, and at Waddle at 36, it's just fantastic. Superb.
Well, my man's got to go into the next millennium, I think, hasn't he? I mean, the technique is the most difficult, but also then to go with the power. Usually if you go with a bicycle kick, you're talking about inside the 6-yard box near the penalty spot, but to do it outside the penalty area and get the power and also keep it down to beat the goalkeeper, all those things combined, I just think, well, goal of the century does match that, really. I mean,
Trevor Sinclair, thank you very much. That's it. We're all set for Chelsea against Liverpool tomorrow. And so is our match of the day, man of the day, Woking's keeper, Lawrence Batty. Good night.
Now, I understand that although you used to play for Fulham, you actually support Chelsea, and I think one of the things you've been hanging on to all day, quite apart from defending your own goal, by the way, is that you've got a ticket for tomorrow's live game.
That's it, I'll be there. Matthew Arden up the tier, watching the Blues beat Liverpool tomorrow.
This is your worst nightmare.
One thing I promise you, you will never forget.